testing the mic. Testing the mic. 1, 2, 3. So I planned out a vacation for the first time in a millennia. I don't typically plan vacations. So let me go ahead and tell you this tale of how I decided to go to a Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios. So I got a couple of people to go, and we decided to go on March 10th of 2023. And I would love to say that this is like genius planning on my part. And you know what? It's absolutely right. That is absolutely brilliant. It just, no other weekend in March would work for anyone else. So then I'm just like, oh, I guess we're just gonna go on March 10th. When we got to California, the weather was like a little moody. As soon as we like kind of touched down at our hotel, it was pouring. It was actually awful. Like the weather got really nasty. So there we are. We arrive at our hotel at, like, let's just say we get there like 1, and we go to check in because, you know, we're like, oh, we have all of this stuff, we want to leave it in the hotel room, and we were gonna walk because I should not. The name of the hotel that we went to is Boulevard Hotel and Spa, walking distance to Universal Studios Hollywood. It's supposed to be a walking distance to Universal Studios. So the problem here is that as soon as we touched down, it started raining, like really, really bad. We're soaking. It's over. Like, we've been walking for like 15 minutes and it was done. We were like, everything we had on us was wet. Like, nothing was spared. And we're like, all right, this isn't gonna do. Like, there's just no way. So we're like, all right, whatever. So we're like, we're wet, we're dying, it's cold. And so we go back, make it to our hotel. 2 of my friends stay in the rooms because, well, it was over. Like, you know, it was just over. One of them just did not feel like making the trip anymore. So we go to Universal and go to the CityWalk, and you know they have some cool things. Like, you go into the CityWalk, and there's a lot of restaurants there. It's really cool, a lot of stores, and then like the cinema has like these pipes. It's like, oh, like it's a Mario thing. Like pipes to go into the cinema because the Mario movie's coming soon. It's like, wow, like that's really neat. And then we're like, all right, where is the Super Nintendo World? And before we even got to like Universal itself, it's just like, it's like a shopping district. That's all it is. There's like a Super Nintendo World store in the shopping district. So we went in, and I was like, I'm not gonna buy anything day one because it's like, why would I buy stuff and then have to carry it on top of while it's raining? I didn't want to do that. So I walked into the Super Nintendo World store, looked at some stuff, and walked out of the store, purchasing $252 worth of items. Now, ItzaMii, you ask yourself, what could you have possibly bought? Okay, for starters, I bought a sweater. So I got an actual hoodie, a really nice Mario Kart jacket. It was really, really nice. I got a Mario plush, I think. Yes, I did, because he was in the room with us. Potentially. I think I bought a shirt. Yeah, I bought a shirt. The last things I bought were 2 of the wristbands for Super Nintendo World. One of them being the Mario design, and the other one being the Daisy design. Now, when it comes down, like, I was like, okay, I'll just buy one. But it's like, and then I'm like, okay, but which one do I want? And so I'm like, yeah, like, I'm primarily, like, I am the Mario guy. Like, out of my friend group, like, that's me. I'm him. It's a me, you know, that's me. So I'm like, yeah, like, I'll get the Mario one. But I'm like, damn, like, we never have any official Daisy merchandise, and I really want a Daisy band. And I'm like, all right, that's it. And I walked out with both. Now, which one I used at Universal? That was a Mario one. Full send. Like, I put on the Mario wristband. I'm like, all right, cool. And they're like, comically, like, they look big, and they're pretty sizable. You know, like you don't expect them to be that huge, but yeah, they're a lot bigger than you suspect. And then they don't stick. Like they have like the little magnet thing to like wraps around your hand, like as a wristband, but it doesn't really work that well. So whatever. So again, we're just looking through, like, you know, Universal Studios. We're just looking through everything because, believe it or not, Super Nintendo World is not only at the farthest section possible, it's at the lowest point possible as well. So finally, like, you know, we make it all the way downstairs. We're off the escalators. We walked into the park, no problem. You know, there's people out in the front. You know, it's this huge pipe. You know, there's a huge pipe at the entrance. Super Nintendo World label and all. And then there's 3 pipes on the side. You go and you take your pictures. You know, people love that. The tourists, like tourism, eats it up. People love taking pictures of the pipes. So, whatever. Took pictures of the pipes. We went into the park. Pipe is really cool, by the way. Oh, I love the design. And then you walk in, and then of course, as you've seen it before, it is like Princess Peach's castle, and there's supposed to be like a semblance of Mario 64 with the painting, which is really cool. For the first night we were there, it's still raining. There's no one really there. And we're like, wow, like look at all this cool stuff. But we weren't planning on getting on anything just because our friends weren't there. It'd be messed up to get on the ride without them. We were really just taking a look into the park and seeing what it was like. And there's another store inside the park itself, so we went there. And then the restaurant. Walking to the restaurant, like, no, that's a no-go. You need to make a reservation to get into the restaurant. So we're like, oh, dang, sucks. Whatever. You know, we can make the reservation tonight, and then we'll be able to, you know, do something tomorrow. Whatever. We're like, we didn't get on any rides. We didn't do any activities on day 1. But I saw it. You know, I was there. It was a real thing. And so that was it. And we went back to the boys over at the hotel after our first night. So overall, it was pretty bad. I mean, just really the rain just kind of washing us out. It was kind of harsh, to say the least. I mean, I was still pretty pleased overall because I got to see the park, and you know, it's nice seeing Universal Studios. I've never been there, and of course, you know, me being with my friends, like, it's a good time, you know. So we're like, whatever, we need to wake up early to go to the park, because if we don't do this, then there's gonna be an extended wait for what I may add is the one ride in the entirety of Super Nintendo World. One. I was like, what? They only have one ride? Make my reservation. We're like, damn, like, we're gonna need food, 12 o'clock lunch setup. Easy money. And we went to sleep really late again, like, because that's what we do. Like, you know, we just stay up late. So we couldn't wake up on time to go to the park early. And when we got to the gates of Super Nintendo World, they're like, hey, you need to make a reservation to get in. I'm like a reservation to get into the park itself? I'm like, yeah, like you need a reservation. I'm like, that's crazy. So me and my friends are like, yeah, you know, we'll come back later and make our reservation. We ended up leaving and checking out other parts of Universal, which we don't care about those parts. You're here to listen to the Nintendo stuff. Our time comes. It's like 12 o'clock. Like, all right, cool. Time to go get some lunch. We're hungry. We haven't really eaten because we're kind of just waiting for this lunch. And we already knew coming in that the lunch wasn't supposed to be superb. So we go into we go to the cafe. They let us into the park. They're like, oh, like you have a cafe reservation? Well, that's good enough. Come in. If we go into the freaking park, go to the cafe and wait forever to get into the restaurant. Because apparently that reservation is a reservation for you to get into the line, not a reservation to get into the restaurant. You're reserving your line spot, I guess. So you go and reserve our spots in line. Takes forever to get us inside. And so we walk into the cafe, and there's already a thing to interact with. It's like in Super Mario 3D World, where I guess you go into the Toad House, and there's a big box and a little box, and you open up a box, and you get like some items. Kind of the same here. Like you go, press your wristband on the icon, and it gives you a power-up, or it gives you money. But it doesn't matter, because it's all money at the end of the day. You get cash, you get coins, you get digital coins, which you have to look at through the freaking Universal Studios Hollywood app. What were they thinking? I mean, how else were they going to do it realistically? Maybe these watches should have had a screen on them or something to make them like Fitbits. So now we're still in this line, and now there's there's a Chef Toad on the screens, and he's like, oh, like he's like speaking in like full sentences in English, and he's talking about how he's gonna cook. It's like, about damn, Toad, chill. We haven't even gotten to the freaking front of the restaurant yet. So we finally get to the front, and everything, I mean, to be expected, is pretty expensive. $16 for, spaghetti. Alright, fine. So we got like, what was it? We got a Mario burger, we got their fire flower spaghetti, we got garlic knots. They have garlic knots for some reason. I guess. Yeah. What else did we get? Because we got the Bowser's Big Challenge. Like, they don't specify what it is. It's just like Bowser's Big Fiery Challenge or something like that. And so I'm like, wow, this is $25. What could this possibly be? And then there was one other item for $25 that I'm totally forgetting. Oh, by the way, they did not have some menu items that day. They were missing the the Mount Beanpole cake, which is a cake of some specific sort, and they were also missing the Bowser's Big Bean burrito. Like, they didn't have that, so unfortunate to say the least. But oh well, you know, maybe we'll get them next time. So we go in, we sit down, and finally, you know, our food starts arriving, and then the Bowser's, you know, big fiery challenge or whatever it's called comes in, and it's just a gigantic meatball. It's just a wad of, like, it's the biggest meatball I've ever, like I wouldn't say, like, you know, like, you have, like, meatballs and stuff, you know, you can make them any size you want, because it's like, you just stick meat together, and yeah, it's a meatball. And I'm just like, you know, it's not a meatball that you'd want to be serving to your kid. For $25, it's a little expensive for a meatball, but unfortunately for me as well, for it being the most expensive item we got, it was also the tastiest item I got. It was by far the most delectable thing I had during my trip there. And from there, since we were in the park, begins our day at Super Nintendo World for reals. So we're in the park, and first thing you want to do is you start hitting the blocks. Because if you are Mario, there's the two things that you do first is A, you stomp on the Goomba, and B, you hit the block. A little crowded, at the least, but it's cool. Like, everything in the park is like, it's like you're just going, you're interacting. So, you know, you hit the blocks, you hear the noise, and you're like, wow, like, that's, like, it's real Mario. Like, it's really him. You're checking your app, you're getting all these coins, and the coins don't do anything, you know, they're just telling you, you know, how many times you've interacted with the park, and here's all this money. And wow, that's so cool. Thank you, Mr. Nintendo, that I get to do this. I spent a weekend and money. Come get fake money, so I'm glad that happened. And there's a lot of other, like, there's other cool things to do. Like, you have these, like, mini games that you're supposed to go play in order to, like, get coins in order to enter one of the specific segments in the park. So we're out here, and, you know, we're collecting our coins. One of them you have to, like, time the Koopa shell to the key. Another one you have to, like, rotate, like, a crank or a lever in order to make a Goomba fall off and grab the coin that way. There's another one where you're supposed to, like, turn off alarm clocks so the piranha plant doesn't wake up. And then there's the final one, which is, like, you're supposed to, like, I don't even know what kind of a game this is. You're just flipping over blocks so that way they're all the same color. Once you have 3 keys, you have to do any 3 activities and beat them, might I add. You actually have to win. Losers don't get coins. I mean, losers don't get keys. Only winners get keys. So if you're a loser and you can't beat 2 out of the 4, then guess what? You're not going to that one extra ride. You're gonna have to go back and do it again. And these lines are long. Yeah, and then you got all the animatronics to get a little quirky during the entire duration, because they're just kind of moving. They look like they're real, but, you know, you get up close and the magic is kind of lost upon you. And, you know, I speak of these, like, activities, like, you know, the key activities that are necessary to get into the last activity. But there's more to do than just that. Like, there was, like, some binoculars from Mario 3D Land that you're supposed to look through, and then there's, like, an AR thing kind of going on. And you look through, and you're knocking stuff down, and you're getting money, and it's like, wow, that's great. And then there's Pikmin, like, hanging out. But cool. I'm wondering why. I say I'm wondering why they have Pikmin in the park. It's because it's Miyamoto, dude. Miyamoto loves Pikmin. So the keys are, like, you know, you collect keys, but they're not for nothing. You collect your keys, and then you go into the Bowser Jr. Fortress, which allows you to play the Bowser Jr. minigame. I mean, I call it the Bowser Jr. minigame. I don't know what the actual name is, but you whatever. You get your keys, you walk in, and then you and, like, 11 other people in total go into a room, and then I don't even know how to describe, like, how do they do this? Like, how do they make this work? So essentially what happens is that you are standing on a panel. It's like, it doesn't matter. You're standing, like, on the, you're standing in front of a thing, and your shadow is being cast on the wall. And from there, Bowser Jr. starts throwing stuff at you. He'll throw fireballs, bombs, and you and your shadow are supposed to swat it away. Now here's the problem. I'm, like, hungry for content, and so in order for me to make this work, I need to record with one of my hands and swap with the other. But this game is insistent, absolutely begging you to use both of your hands. So I'm out here like a maniac, swapping between left hand and right hand of the camera. So I can't wait to see that video. I haven't seen it yet. And I'm you know, you just see my shadow like swatting with one hand, like really trying to make this work, and I can't do it. So get to the part where I'm like completely losing it. Like the camera just goes and it's gone. You don't get to see any more footage. So yeah, whatever. So you're collecting coins. There's power-ups. Your shadow somehow grows and gets bigger, which is hilarious. I don't know how they did any of that, and that's kind of the magic of that interactable is my opinion. I don't want to call it a ride because it's not a ride. You don't walk into a room, stand like that, and swing your arms like a maniac and call it a ride. Like, it's not a ride. Like, you interact with it, and it's cool. Pretty cool interactable. So all of our efforts of, you know, killing Goombas, hitting Koopas, smacking Thwomps around, it's not for nothing. I guess you get to go play a really cool interactable mini game, which I did enjoy. And that's the end of that. Fight up until you finally get to the big old boss. The final thing that we did in the park was the augmented reality Bowser's. Well, you know what? Put it up here. I don't know what the name is. It's a Mario Kart challenge, and this is like, it's the only ride in the park, like because it's an actual thing that you get on the line. We're going to go into the line, and we will wait to get on this ride. Like, there's no chance in hell that we're not getting on this Mario Kart ride. So we walk in, and it's deceptive. It's a room that's just a line. Nothing else really. There's some Yoshi stuff. I'm surprised they reference Yoshi's Island at all. It's nice because it's Yoshi's Island theme. I'm like, wow, here's another line. There's another room that's just a line. And then you walk into another room, and it's just a line. And then you walk downstairs, and it's just the underground area from Yoshi's Island. Like, what? That's crazy. Like, it's just full of Yoshi references, and it's beautiful. And it's a line. It's just one long line. They wasted the Yoshi room on lines. Why would they do that? Yoshi gets no respect around here. Until, like, you know, you're in the underground, and it's nice and everything, and then you go upstairs, and it's like, wow, like, there's more line. And then you walk upstairs again, and there's more line. And then you walk outside, and there's an even longer line. And you're like, this is crazy. And so you're outside, and you spend a lot of time waiting outside because the line outside is long. So you're just kind of curving, you know, in and out. And you finally go into the big Bowser statue area, and it's more line. And then you go into the next room because, you know, you got to keep on moving, and it's more line. And then you walk into this next room, and it's like a cool, like it's supposed to be like a library of sorts. Yeah, it's a library, and there's a lot of cool stuff in there, and you're looking at it, and it's just another line. It's cool, but it's another line. And then you walk into the next room, and it's like, it's supposed to be, it's showing you like the process of how like the bombs are made and some other mechanical enemies are like created and stuff, and that's cool, but it's still more line, you know, like you're still waiting. This is like 7 to 8 rooms of waiting and lines. This is ridiculous. We've been walking for like an entire day. I'm dying. Like, I'm dead. My legs can't take it anymore. So whatever. So you get through that part, and then you finally get past that, and finally you make it to the doors. But before you can enter the doors, they're closed. There's still line that you gotta wait in. So then, you know, the doors open, you walk in, and there's videos showing you how everything works, and I can't believe it. These videos have Mii's in them. Like, what? Bro, like, we're still using Mii's in 2023, especially for the park. Like, I'm gratified. Like, I'm here for it. But I'm still standing, and my legs are dying, so I hate it at the same time. That was like 7 to 8 rooms of waiting in a line for this Mario Kart ride. And then you finally get to the ride. Oh, before you even get on the ride, you have to go downstairs and like grab some goggles or like a headband or something. I don't even remember what it is exactly. It's like kind of like a hat thing, and you put that on, you kind of lock it in, and then when you get to the Mario Kart itself, like the car holds 4 people. They're humongous, by the way. You put on, and then the goggles are attached to the vehicle itself. And you put them on, and the way they explain it is like, oh, you drift with the ride to like turn your wheel if the ride is like turning right, turn your wheel to the right. If it's going left, turn into the left, and you get coins that way. And then you get like a bunch of shells, and of course like most of the ride is like, I guess you'll say it's like you're on the cart, and then like the environments are real and stuff, but then the goggles will show you like the enemies and the shells that are being thrown, and then they'll show you the other racers, because of course those aren't real. And so I'm not sure how this like works exactly. I can't tell if like the way you get hit is premeditated, like are there specific parts of the ride where it's like if you're supposed to get hit and then your car shakes out, or if it's like if you actually get hit by like, something else, like, you know, at any random time your car starts spinning. I can't say for sure. All I know is that there was times where it's like the car would like kind of spin out, and then you kind of have to recover, and then you're throwing shells at Goombas or and other cars, you know, you throw them at the Koopalings, and you get coins for all that stuff. And you know, needless to say, it was really cool because there's this part where it's like you get a star, and then it starts getting really bright, and then you're on Rainbow Road, and that's like the coolest thing ever. That shit is absolutely hype as hell. So, was it worth the like hour wait we had to endure? Probably, I'd say so. It's really cool. I mean, I'm so sure that rides like these exist, but I'm clearly not always invested in something augmented reality like. But it's a cool concept to see, and I think the interactability makes the park more memorable. It's not rides, but I think it could be the future of amusement parks, you know, interactability. Having people walk around. Like, Nintendo's always been like that, you know, where it's like, oh, we want our consumers to do stuff, you know, with the Wii Fit Balance. Like, the Wii is the big one, you know? They make you want to do stuff with the Wii, and now, like, this is, like, that next step right there. Like, they make you want to do stuff. You know, you don't just get to sit down on a ride and call it a day. Overall, the trip was pretty decent. The park was cool. And I do want to go back because like a number of friends weren't able to go, and some of them would love to. And I would also maybe like to experience it one more time. Well, it's not raining, because you know what? When it's raining, you can't see the Mario Brothers and the Princess and Toad. Park was cool. If you ever get a chance to go. You know, I try to do this stuff every March. I like making Mario content in March. I like Mario's March Madness. Doesn't always pan out. You know, I try to do 5 videos a month, and I always end up failing to make one for some reason. Like I just didn't have anything for last week. I no one wanted to Mario Party with me. Like, what the fuck, guys? And you know who you are when I say what the fuck. You know who you are. You dare not play Mario Party with me? How could you? I thought we were supposed to be friends. This is my like last video for this, and it's hard. It's not hard. I'm just lazy. You know, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you are enjoying my content. I'm gonna come back with more videos next month. I'm gonna try to keep my schedule up. So thank you guys for watching, and catch you on the next one. Bye.